I know you've coached for a long time. We can talk about that, but your coaching philosophy, what does that look like based on kind of all the experiential learning you've had over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I think, what does that mean to me? There's a lot of pieces to that, right? And I mean, I think it was you may have said to me one point, one of my down days on training, it's like, there's no single training day that defines you as an athlete or defines your ability. It's just part of it. And I think where I sit now, and I look at people and I talk to people, it's, when I first got into it and I really first started trying to compete, I was like, oh, this is the way it's rigid. It has to follow it. You have to keep building. You have to keep getting faster. And I think what I've learned is that training is only something we do.
Mm-hmm.
As a master's athlete, I'm not a professional athlete, and I like to compete,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to try to present as best as I can. But I'm not a professional athlete. So training is something I do. And then I pay to go to places. And actually, in our sport, most of the professionals pay too. But
Yeah. Knobs did for Marathon Project, trust me. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's something we do. And life has to work around it. And, what I've come to the realization is that life does impact my training and how things are going, and I have to be patient with myself, and I have to show a little bit of compassion with myself, and understand that if I'm in a particularly rough phase at work, because I do work in healthcare, and things are
Mm-hmm.
moving a lot, I have to accept the fact that I may not just be performing as well as I can be in my training, and again, it doesn't define what I am going to perform as. But that day is that day, and I have to accept that. And I think that, as I'm a coach, I look at it from that perspective with people too, and I talk to them. I had one, a young man that I was coaching at West Point for about a year recently. He had great visions for where he wanted to go, and I think we were definitely on the right path. But he also had a variable schedule that we had to deal with, and we just had to allow it to ebb and flow as it did. And then I have some other folks right now that I work with too, and single moms, single fathers, things like that. And these are all parts of our life that we have to work around to make us successful. But if we take that stuff into account when we're planning the cycles, and we can have, honest conversations, we can make the person more successful in general, as opposed to that vision of where you want. And this is where Strava is dangerous to that point too, right? Because I've learned that, I like Strava because you can kind of check in, you can say, hey, great run, doing this type of stuff. But I can't compare myself to somebody who is 25 years younger than me, who may not have the responsibility that in the role I've got, or the person that's the single father who's working 3 jobs and taking his master's right now. It's we all have our own story, so let's find our coaching pattern and recipe, as I call it with you. Let's find what makes that work for you. Because I think that is really what I found is that, and you've said to me a few times, again, this is where, again, having a physical coach that knows you, that you can talk to, and me now, you watch for my signs, and you're like, okay, let's just cool you off for a little bit, because I'm not sure everything that's going on, but I think you're ready. I think we can just bring you down a little bit and, allow things to settle. And then, they do. And I think that that's what I try to take in with my coaching too.